As you see, Reptile magazine came out with the dad edition. So we haven't flipped through it yet. There is an interview in here, there's pictures, there's stuff that I want to read. This interview is from a year ago. I have no idea what he said, I have no idea what the questions were. So let's go through it together, get a little piece of what he was thinking and some of his like final thoughts really. And I think his last interview. Look at this picture right here. This is actually one of the thumbnails from one of our videos. But I think that's a great one that they used right there. In the world of YouTube influencers, Brian Barczyk is considered to be the original architect. Brian began posting YouTube content in 2008. That's crazy. I was only like 8 years old, and I think that's like the first year or so when YouTube even came out, which is wild. And his channel not only stood the test of time, but has grown since 5.43 million subscribers. 5.5 with more than 2.9 thousand videos at the time of this writing. In addition, these numbers do not include his other social media platforms. Pretty cool. Seems only right that we read this with our girl Ivy, the green anaconda, one of Dad's favorites. So obviously you have a lot going on. However, for those readers who may be unfamiliar with all your videos, can you tell us a little bit about your early interest in reptiles? Since I was 2 years old, I visited a local aquarium, which was Belle Isle. Saw all the fish in a ball python. I have been obsessed and remember being in awe of the ball python. I knew at that moment I wanted to spend my life around animals, and I never really have wanted anything else as I grew up. And that's the crazy thing about my dad. That's what he says, you know? And sometimes, if I'm being honest, I'm like, do I even believe that story? Like, because it's so crazy. I'm 24 years old, and I feel like a lot of people, they don't necessarily know what they want to do. It can be challenging. And for my dad to be like, yeah, I knew what I wanted to do since I was 2, speaks to the crazy guy that he was, and now look at everything that he and my mom built, you know? Not only did Dad love these fish, but he was such an engineer, if you will. He built this whole stand down here, and the chairs and the leather and stuff. A lot of the stuff around here he actually hand built. Question: did you keep any reptiles or amphibians as a child? I responded with, my mom was terrified of reptiles, so she would not allow any snakes or lizard in the house. So every summer since I was about 5 years old, I would collect snakes and tadpoles every day from the woods right down the street and keep them in my family's garage. I would say on average I would have about 30 snakes and about 200 to 300 tadpoles. That's so funny. I was always sad on the fall day when my mom would make me release the snakes that I cared for all summer. Although the winters were long without my scaly friends, I knew each year I would be back to collecting more again. Dad did love his frogs. Even up till we were producing milk frogs, he was so excited about like the thousands of tadpoles and little baby frogs. That never changed from when he was 5 years old to 55 almost.
I've seen it online, but I haven't seen it in person, yes.
Alright, let's take a look at it together. In loving memory of Brian Barczyk. Am I messed up for the first thing I noticed is the I isn't capitalized, but everything else is?
That is very interesting. Yeah, no, I had actually forgot that he had done this interview last year.
Really?
So, yes, and then it was weird because I don't know, months ago, I was like, whatever happened with that? And then clearly then I just started seeing this online, like, oh, wait, they published it. So I don't know what this is. I never read it, never got to proofread.
This is so
It's an interview.
It's still so weird. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't feel real.
No, it doesn't feel right. It just, but let's see what, oh,
there it is.
There's more stuff. Let's look together.
I remember that thumbnail.
That's a good one.
I remember that was a thumbnail.
Photo by Jay Tomsky.
Yay!
Your name's on there.
Wait, oh, that's awesome.
I'll make sure I have to contact and get rid of that. No, that's an awesome thing, man. That's awesome. Congratulations.
I'm like about to cry, so sorry.
Okay.
That's really awesome.
Brian with one of his mangroves. That's cool.
He loved that snake.
He did. Toothless. And it gives a little backstory about the Reptarium. Opened in 2018, tens of thousands of people have walked through the doors since. That's so cool. It's just like a little memoir.
This is the first trip I ever went on with Brian. We went to the Dells, Wisconsin to go to, and this was at Alligator Alley. I don't know if it was Steve Irwin that took a shot with like a white, like Burmese python, or somebody did, and he wanted to do it, so we took it outside and took the photo.
That's funny.
So cute.
Mr. Beast!
Hey! That was a fun trip.
I was first interested in animals when he was just 2 years old.
The infamous.
Did you see this?
What is this? It's Brian Reptile Magazine.
It's Dad to you. Relax. You got a whole magazine?
Well, not the whole magazine, but
The majority
that's
of it.
the whole magazine.
selling, that's what's selling this magazine.
You lost the page I was on.
Oh, sorry. Oh my God.
You never know. There might
That
be
was very,
something
no,
else.
that's it.
Nope, that's it.
I'd say that's a good, like, quarter of the magazine.
Dad would not be happy.
If he's got the whole magazine.
I mean,
Is he
Jeremy
not
got a
important
whole page.
I know.
Jerms. Did you guys hear he dropped a song yesterday?
I believe it.
Yeah.
Is it a Drake diss?
Whoa.
Look at what they're doing. We got the crew putting up the drywall. First little sneak peek.
Whoa. Did you make an appointment?
No, I didn't.
Okay, go speak to the secretary,
I
please.
also just thought this was the doorway and you're gonna have to duck to get in.
We can finally get a feel for what this side's gonna look like for a very long time.
Crazy.
Coming together.
What was the first species that you bred? When I was 15 years old, I was working at a pet shop named The Pet Vendor. I bought a pair of adult corn snakes in the middle of February. I knew the best results would result from brumation. But we were close to the end of when most people started to warm their snakes up. I cleaned them out for a couple of weeks and put them into a 12-day brumation, not knowing if I would have success or not. Sure enough, 8 weeks later, the female laid 22 eggs. Those are the first snakes that I actually bred. And how cool is that? Just a couple of corn snakes translated into hundreds of thousands of snakes in a ginormous warehouse, and then eventually evolve into a reptile zoo. It's unfathomable. Unfathomable. What's that word?
Unfathomable.
Did I say it right the first time? Unfathomable.
You're close.
Unfathomable to think about. Do you have a favorite species? Dad said, I don't really have a favorite species. I think of them all as individuals, and there's something special, magical about each species. And even each reptile within that species. It's like asking a mother of 4 who their favorite child is. His favorite always changed, so he's right. There was never really a favorite because they're all so cool. But I do know that he did love cat-eyed snake, the mangrove snake, one of his favorite ones. And this jet black one that they got there, I know that one was special to him.
Oh!
She came out hot and heavy, dog. So are the rest of the snakes. Not gonna grab her out today. Question is, I know that you were the first to produce the amelanistic strain of Honduran milk snake. Can you tell us about some of the other strains and morphs that you've worked with over the years? My dad said that he's been so fortunate to pioneer a bunch of new snake morphs during his career. I produced the first axanthic and snow hog nose. My biggest bangs were in the ball python world, producing the first pinstripe, sunset balls, and scaleless pythons, and probably have about 50 mutation combinations that we produced the first of. I never have bought into the hype about producing the first. I know if I didn't do it, somebody else would have. I just felt honored to have my name on some of these mutations that have now become so popular. And that's true, and that's something that, you know, Gabby, Cameron's mom, my girlfriend, you know, they don't really know much about. It is crazy because, you know, he was the first for a lot. And it's also a very interesting, smart mindset to have, you know. It's like, can't internalize like the negative, and you also can't do the positive either to a certain extent. Like, you can't get over hype about like, yeah, I did do all the first, like, oh, I'm the best. It's like a very good mindset to be like, yeah, I did do that, but if I didn't, someone else would have. Like, it was just a matter of time. And it'll be super exciting to teach little man and Gabby as well just about this stuff. It's really cool because his name is associated with a lot of snakes in the world, a lot of people's passion, and there's so many people we meet that have been influenced to be reptile keepers and lovers because of my dad. It's a shame that he can't continue to make more videos and produce more snakes. To hopefully what he did will have a very long impact for many years to come. Speaking of Dad, merch, is this posted yet? Is this the final edition?
Sick, dude.
I think that this is it. We added a little bit more touches with this and the Reptile Army. I mean, I think this is it.
Like, what the heck? There's walls, dude. It's crazy.
It's a little dusty still, but they did a really quick job.
These are cool.
They're gonna have to redo that part.
Not him picking up the one thing that's like.
That's just a patch. That's easy. Yeah. Who would have thought, you know?
Shout out to Doug Thomas, the birthday boy from... Shout out to Doug Thomas, the birthday boy from Centralia. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Doug Thomas, the birthday boy from Centralia, Washington, for sponsoring today's feast. He gifted a feast to our boy Stitch, and we're gonna feed him this banana right here.
What are you doing, Stitchy?
Whoa! Oh, my pants are falling down.
Keep it going. Keep it
My pants are falling down. Doug Thomas! Oh, my nipple! Doug Thomas! Oh my goodness. Buddy, you gotta slow down. You can't eat it all at once. Holy Stromboli! Whoa! This guy is bananas! I think we need new banana merch with Stitch. Stitchy bananas. Ah!
Yeah, Bella might be the banana queen, but this is the banana king
He's
for
the
sure.
banana king. Oh my god. Thank you so much, Doug Thomas. He's even eating the peel. He's taking the peel. Oh my goodness. He does not care at all. Happy birthday to Big Doug Thomas over in Centralia, Washington. If you want a chance to be featured in one of these videos, head over to the Reptarium sponsorship tab and you can pick whatever feast you want. So let's get back to reading the magazine. I know this was a little bit fun and just get a little bit of a break, but we got some more of that article to read. I know this was one of Dad's favorites too, so it's nice to take a little break with our boy right here. Are there any thoughts you would like to share with our readers before we conclude? Dad said, just remember that life is so precious. Embrace it and live it to the fullest. No matter what happens to me, I know that I have lived the life of 10 people. I've seen and experienced so many things that I care about. I hope I will leave a mark on this world in a positive way. I plan on beating the odds and being around for a long time, but also have prepared for the worst. Make sure I leave my legacy. They say you never die until the last people speak your name. I pray people will remember no matter what, for decades to come. Not from an ego standpoint, inspirational standpoint. We're going to actually not read all of the interview. I think it's important to support Reptile magazine, so we'll leave a link in the description. Get this magazine, you actually have to subscribe. I believe it's only $20, and I believe you get a full year worth of magazines for $20.
I mean, it's worth it just for the one magazine, to be honest with you.
Exactly, it's worth it just for the one magazine. Plus, you'll get 11 other more reptile content about care, species you may never seen of, and just information about the reptile hobby. It's actually a really great magazine. We recommend you go buy it. Touching on those final thoughts, I think that's important to think, you know, as he's here with Mr. Beast. Amazing. Who knows how many kids, you know, found out of Dad because of that. Inspiration for decades to come. You know, I don't think it's from an ego standpoint. There's a lot of people's lives that he's changed. What we talked about the saying before, loving animals like makes you like a better person, you know? Like if you can love animals, makes you a better person. If there was some magical 8-ball to be able to tell the impact of the world for a better place, like it would be interesting to see how my dad did make an impact and will continue to. So that's really cool. It's really special. This is a really hard thing to digest. If we're just being honest, you know, I'm feeling a bit emotional, but maybe shutting it down, not on purpose, but I don't know. So that's where I'm at. It feels surreal. I don't like it, obviously, but I'm appreciative that the magazine made it. This whole thing in loving memory of my dad, it just feels surreal. Don't like this part of life that I have to experience this, but it is, and just have to go with the flow of it and try to just stay as positive as possible, not ruin my life sulking. It was really special to read that stuff. Go support Reptile magazine if you want to read the rest of the interview, and there's a bunch of other pages with Dad too. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.
Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, there's a playlist that you can watch all kinds of videos. You can also hit that subscription button. It would mean a lot to me. Also, hit that like button while you're down there. Have a wonderful day, Reptile Army. Remember, be kind to someone, and I promise I'll see you in the next one.